And how to spot a traitor.
Yeah, traitors obviously have given us plenty of chance to spot a liar on telly, but would you recognise one in your own life? Do you think you're good at spotting when someone's not telling the truth?
I'm not too bad. I can't necessarily tell a lie when it's being told, but there's something I think that you can feel where it doesn't quite sit properly. I don't know. Let's ask the expert. Linda Papadopoulos is here, and she's here to tell us all about lying. Why do people lie, and how can you tell?
I think we lie for various reasons. I think sometimes it's in order to manipulate a situation, to get the best out of something. Sometimes it's to avoid hurting people's feelings. Sometimes it's to self-aggrandize. So, you know, one could argue that narcissists lie as a means of self-aggrandizing. No, I've done all this. People that are more Machiavellian lie as a means to control you. Psychopaths lie as a means to manipulate you. But then we have the other side, and we've all been there when, our friend says, "Do you like my new haircut?" And there's like nothing they can do about it for the next 3 months. And you're like, yeah.
You just don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Exactly.
Who lie more, men or women?
So the interesting thing is that men and women are found to lie generally for different reasons. So we find that women tend to lie to promote sort of positive social things, to avoid hurting feelings, whereas men tend to lie to try and gain social status, generally speaking, a bit more. But I think this is like a self-report thing as well, right? So this is the problem with doing research around lying. You kind of depend on the person you're asking the question to be telling you the truth.
It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because I think sometimes, do you think it's easy to forget that you're lying as well? Sometimes I think there's a thing that's sort of in your head. I sometimes listen, particularly, my mum is an amazing storyteller.
Yeah.
And it's really hard sometimes to kind of go, I wonder what of this actually happened and how much has just become legend, and actually she's not really aware of it now. And it's something in the Thomas side of the family, which is my mum's side of the family, that they are all brilliant storytellers. That's
such a brilliant point. And you're right. And the thing with memories, we never actually remember the thing that happened. We remember the last time we told the story.
Yes.
So it's a story. So to your point, if every time I said I caught the fish and it was this big and then it was this big, by the time I'm saying the fish that I caught was this big, I'm believing it because I'm remembering it like that. So I do think there is that part of storytelling, or the rhythm of language. But on the other hand, I think what's really fascinating, so we think that people lie approximately 1 to 2 times a day. But when you look at the data, it's not like a nice smooth bell curve. What we find is some people lie a lot and some people say they don't lie at all. So it seems like there's a small proportion of people that tend to do a lot of lying, and the rest of us try not to, because it isn't great. Lying is actually not great for us, right? I think anyone that's, it kind of speaks to, I don't feel I'm enough, or I feel I need you to do what I want you to do, so I'm going to manipulate you. I get that there's times in life where it comes in, and, I understand that. But actually, being able to remember that lie is really hard as well, and that's how a lot of them are caught out.
It's interesting as well how it's also very down to the person and how you frame something and your interpretation of something as well. Rather than sometimes it's not just an out-and-out lie, it's how you perceive the situation.
100%, 100%. And the way that you perceive any situation, it has so many biases cognitively, how you were raised, your belief system. There's this great research on accents, right? And which accents we tend to believe more. Now,
Traitors.
Yeah, because I think Charlotte in The Traitors came out at the start and said, I'm going to pretend to be Welsh because the Welsh is a very trusted accent.
Right. So what's the most trusted accent here? What were we all raised on? Sort of BBC English, right? That accent.
Yeah.
Right? So when you hear that accent, studies show that that's going to be more trustworthy by virtue of the fact that it was the literal news, right? It was the truth. Whereas accents that we don't hear very often, we tend to believe in a lot less. And actually, if we kind of associate a certain accent with a certain region where there's a high crime rate, we're like, well, now I definitely, because that's the associations that we make. So in a lot of ways, these biases that we have, whether it's sort of racially or culturally or socially, they come from the belief systems, to your point, the world we've created in our head.
How do we spot a lie? It's been fascinating watching that show. I think one of the things that's so intriguing about the success of something like Traitors is we're all gripped by it because it's so much part of the fabric of our lives when you're in the office, when you're with your family and whatever. What are the secrets, Linda, to spotting a liar?
So there's a few things. I think the first one is people who do a lot of incongruent behavior. So if I'm saying yes and I'm doing this, and I'm saying no and I'm doing that, sort of subconsciously look at incongruencies between what I'm saying and what I'm doing. So
your words don't match your actions.
Exactly. So I'm nodding, but I'm going no, and it's amazing. So these micro, it's not the. Sorry, you're going to say.
No.
Sometimes we talk about, can you look at someone in the eye?
Yes.
Good liars are great. I mean, can you do it? I'm sure you could tell me a lie and look at me in the eye.
No, I'm terrible. I'm a terrible liar.
Said that.
I'm an absolute, I can't play poker. I can't keep a straight face. No, I'm terrible.
Good liars can absolutely look at you in the eye and and actually what they do is they overcorrect. They almost don't blink. They almost overlook you. So that's oftentimes something that you can see.
So watch for the lack of blinking.
And the very intense holding, believe me in the eye, that's incongruent. The other thing is self-soothing behavior. So if I kind of put my hand in front of my mouth, so I'm like, no, honestly, I did buy that, birthday present, I just forgot to bring it. No, I'm gonna, that's, or maybe I'm kind of twiddling my rings, that's sort of self-soothing. Yeah. So the best liars are calm. They remember, they're smart, so they remember their lies and they keep it as close to the truth as possible. I feel this is like a how-to to lie. Please don't take it. I'm not sure. Is this the intention? They keep the story as close to the truth as possible. They provide some detail, but not too much.
So it's about, and I think one of the things that is really, that's clear is the simpler the lie is, the easier it is to not mess up. Because that's the problem, isn't it? Once things get complicated, because one lie can often lead to another as well. If you should already turn around and say, I'm definitely going to be there on time, and you're not going to be there on time, and then you're not there on time, what's happened? Oh, the car broke down, and then suddenly it's a whole litany of lies that's going to end up tripping you up.
100%, and that's why when you kind of look at amazing investigators, they'll just keep asking the same question. But so you said you were late. Did you say you left late, or with the car that picked you up was there traffic? And you will get done. The other thing though that's really interesting is who we tend to believe more. If you're a likable person, and actually if you have more facial symmetry, so an attractive person, people will tend to believe you more. So we know that in people that select juries, right? We know that if a defendant, which is why defendants look a certain way, they dress a certain way, they're grouped, because you're more likely to believe if you are likable, and very sadly, if you have good facial symmetry.
And colours as well, the colours that you wear. You often see that, don't you? They'll say, don't put that colour on, put this colour on.
There's a whole industry based on kind of selecting these things and looking into these kind of, because some of this stuff is baked into us. We think we're these sort of advanced creatures. We're apes that, have 14 billion years of evolution that kind of say, you look trustworthy for these really basic ideas like clarity of skin or whatever, so I'm going to trust you, or inflection of voice, or all these things. So, yeah.
But it also can't be very good for a liar to lie all the time as well. It must be so mentally exhausting.
100%. But that's what I was saying before. It's, it speaks to, I'm not happy with the way the world is. It speaks to either I feel unaccepted by it, I need to change it, I need to be in control. And actually, the most wonderful thing, paradoxically, that we trust is confidence. And real confident people are okay to kind of say, yeah, the fish that I caught wasn't that big. I didn't
make a mistake.
Fess up.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be any good at Traitors?
You know what? You can't not know what you know. So I think I've done psychology for so long. I think I'd try.
The problem is you get murdered straight away.
I'd be like, get rid of the shrink.
Linda, great to see you. Thanks for popping in.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.